Hi, so this, as you know, this the NCERT series is going on. So today, these are the questions today we'll be covering, because the name of the chapter is Theory of Firm Under Perfect Competition. So to start with the very first question, what are the characteristics of a perfectly competitive market? As we all know, that market is a platform where buyers and sellers meet, and there are different kind of market. Perfect market, it's perfectly competitive market, perfectly incompetitive market, which is called imperfect competition, perfect competition. Then there is a mixed nature, which is a blend of both. So we can study in detail in one of the forthcoming lectures of mine, where we'll be studying different kinds of markets and their structure, how the equilibrium is established there, how the price is fixed, what is the nature. For now, today it's the perfect competition. So what are the characteristics? A perfectly competitive market has a few main characteristics which are being enlisted here, like it is consist of large number of buyers and sellers. Then here each firm produces and sells a homogeneous nature product, meaning to say that the product of one firm cannot be differentiated from the product of any other firm. They are similar, so any of the product can be replaced by another product. Then entry into the market as well as exit from the market is free. Any firm can exit and any firm can enter in the market. And information at both the ends, at the end of the buyer as well as at the end of the seller, is perfect, meaning to say that there is full awareness about each and everything. So all these points in a way implies that since there are large number of buyers and sellers in the market, competition is too strong, meaning to say that each individual buyer or seller is very small as compared to the size of the market. Size of market is huge, and so this means that no individual buyer or seller can influence the market by their size. There is no single control in the market. Homogeneous products means that the product of firms are identical, as we already discussed. So there is a complete choice for the buyer for the replacement of a product. Like if a buyer don't want to go for a particular product of a particular firm, the buyer can go to another firm, because he or she will get exactly the same quality under the same price. So meaning to say there is a complete freedom and fairness, kind of a fairness. Then it's a free entry and exit, meaning to say that it is easier for firms to enter the market as well as leave the market whenever the situation is not profitable for them. Question number 2 says here, how are the total revenue, what is the total revenue of the firm, market price and the quantity, and how are they interrelated to each other? Meaning to say, how is total revenue, market price and quantity sold by a firm are related to each other. So here we'll understand what these are. So a firm earns revenue by selling the good that this firm produces in the market, first of all. So what firm earns is called the revenue by selling the product in the market. Now if we assume that the market price is P, small p, and small q is the quantity of the goods produced and therefore sold by the firm at price P. P is the prevailing price in the market. So now here in this situation, what will be the total revenue that this firm will incur? That total revenue will be nothing else but the market price of the good multiplied by the firm's output. The market price is assumed to be small p and the firm's output is assumed to be small q. So mathematically total revenue will be equal to P into Q. Now there is a very simple example being taken here. I've taken a very simple example just to show how it has been done. So here you can see this is table 4.1 that shows calculation of total revenue. So now here let us assume that the market there is a market for candles which is perfectly competitive by nature. We have just read what perfect competition is and what are the characteristics. So now here let us assume that the market price of a box of a candle is rupees 10. Now for a candle manufacturer, here table shows how total revenue will be related to the output. See, when no boxes sold, meaning to say boxes sold, the first is 0 unit. Here no selling is been done. So you can see the total revenue is also 0 because P becomes 0 or anything, and Q also is 0 here. So 0 multiplied by 0 will be equal to 0. So when the boxes sold are 0 unit, total revenue gets 0. Now what happens? If one box of candle is sold, as we know that each box price is rupees 10. So here quantity becomes Q becomes 1 and P is 10. So 10 into 1 becomes 10. So here in the first unit of box, when the first unit of box is sold in rupees 10, total revenue will be 10 also. This is how, here 1 is the unit, 10 is the price. So total revenue becomes 10. Similarly, if 2 boxes are sold, it becomes 2 into 10, which is 20, and so on. So this is how they are interrelated to each other. The total revenue, the market price, and the quantity sold. Now what is price line? See, price line simply shows the interrelationship between the market price and the firm's output level. Alright. Like here, we are studying perfect competition. So here this is the price line. This horizontal line parallel to x-axis, as you can see in this diagram, price has been shown on the y-axis, output has been taken on x-axis. This line, straight line parallel to the output axis, is the price line. Now it cuts the y-axis, height equal to P. This price line is also known as AR curve or the average revenue curve under perfect competition. Here it is straight line. It depicts the demand curve facing a firm. Here you can see this line is a straight line. So it is also known as the perfectly elastic demand curve because it is parallel to x-axis or the output axis. Why it is straight here? It's showing that a firm can sell as many units of the good as it wants to sell at price P. See, price is constant here and the output is increasing, meaning to say that price is almost the same, but selling is being done. It's been increasing. That is why this curve is parallel to x-axis. So this is the price line here. It shows the relationship between the market price and the output level. Here this is the price line or the AR curve or the demand curve of the firm. It is perfectly elastic by the nature because it is perfect competition and price is almost constant, as there is no monopoly where the price can be differentiated or vary according to the profit motive. There are so many buyers and sellers and homogeneous products are there. So under this situation, this is the perfectly elastic demand curve where the price has been constant but the output is increasing. So this is the price line here. Now why is the total revenue curve of a price taking firm? See, this price taking firm is here. An upward sloping straight line. Why does the curve passes through the origin? So as we know that total revenue, we have just read what is total revenue. It is P into Q, price into quantity. So if we talk about the total revenue curve, it shows the relationship between total revenue that a firm earns and the output level of a firm. Like here it is being shown in this figure 4.1. Here revenue is being taken on y axis, output is being taken on x axis, and here this you can see that this TR or the total revenue curve is being going upward, straight going upward starting from the origin, and the slope here will be AQ1 upon OQ1. The slope of this curve is the ratio of these two, AQ1 upon OQ1, and is the market price. So now here this total revenue curve plots the theory of the firm under perfect competition. The quantity sold or output on the x-axis where we have taken, and revenue on the y-axis. Now first of all, when the output is 0 here, the total revenue of the firm will also be 0, that we have just seen in the previous question how it's been done. So that is why the total revenue curve passes through origin, this point O, you can see here. Now secondly, when the total revenue increases, as the output is also increasing, so when the total revenue increases, it increases along with output increase. Also the equation where TR is equal to P into Q is that of straight line, because here P will be constant, as we just saw earlier where we saw this AR curve, which is a straight line parallel to x-axis or the output axis. It shows that price is constant. So here in this equation, if you see, this is constant but this Q is increasing. So TR will follow this one and it will go upward as the output will increase. So this means that TR curve will be upward rising straight line. So this is how the question is being done here. We'll pick up the next question. So what conditions must hold if a profit maximizing firm produces positive output in a competitive market? Market is competitive, firm is profit maximizing, and it is producing positive output. So what conditions should be there? So when the price remains fixed, then profit maximizing firm can sell any amount of quantity of output at the market price. Thus, if there is a positive level of output at which firm's profit is maximized, there are 3 conditions required for the profit maximizing firm producing a positive level of output in a competitive market. For short run, there are 3 conditions where the profit will be maximized by the firm which is producing positive output, meaning to say that output is increasing. So in the short run, what is the condition? First condition is that marginal revenue should be equal to marginal cost. Whatever the firm is earning by producing one additional unit should be equal to additional cost. Second condition is marginal cost should be rising upward, or SMC is non-decreasing. Of course, marginal cost will be rising upward when the firm is positive output producing. So this is the second condition. And the third condition for short run is that price must be greater than or equal to the average variable cost. So here this is the third condition, that price shall be fixed at a point where it should cover the average variable cost. See, as we already know that there are 2 kinds of cost, fixed cost and variable cost. So the price must be kept at a level where it is more than or equal to average variable cost. It shall not go below this. So these are the 3 conditions where the profit maximizing firm where the firm will maximize its profit if it is producing the output positively and there is a perfectly competitive market. In the long run, the condition are same but little variation is there. First of all, the first condition is that price must be equal to the long run marginal cost, meaning to say that price shall be equal to LRMC, which is long run marginal cost. LRMC should be rising upward. Similarly to this one, short run here, that LRMC shall be non-decreasing. It shall be rising. And the last condition is that price must be greater than or equal to long run average variable cost. Similar to that of the short run, here the nature of the firm, the period is being taken as the long run. Long run, as we know, we have already studied that when all factors of production can vary. In short run, there has to be a fixed factor of production whereas others can vary. But in long run, all factors of production can vary. So these are the conditions for the firm produces a positive output for profit maximization in a competitive market. Now, what is the supply curve of a firm in the short run, and what is the supply curve of a firm in the long run? So, first of all, what is the supply curve? Or we'll also understand what is the supply schedule. So, to start with, we'll first of all understand what is a firm's supply. So, a firm's supply is the quantity that it chooses to sell at a given price, given technology, and given the prices of factors of production. So whatever output a firm is choosing to produce, when a price, technology, and prices of factors of production are given, that becomes the supply of a firm. Now if this whole thing is being represented in a tabular form, in the form of a table, then it becomes the supply schedule. In that table, the quantity sold by a firm at various prices, technology, and the price of factors of production remaining unchanged will be represented in the form of a table. That is called the supply schedule. And when that entire data or information is presented as a graph, that is called the supply curve. So this is the supply schedule, and supply curve. Now supply curve is being asked here. So the supply curve of a firm shows the level of output plotted on the x-axis that the firm chooses to produce corresponding to different value of the market price that is being taken on the y-axis, price, cost. Again here the assumption is that technology and prices of factors of productions are unchanged. So here you can see this is the short run supply curves are being shown here. Here the short run supply curve of a firm, which is based on its short run marginal cost. Here it is, you can see that this is the short run average cost, this is the short run average variable cost, and this is the fixed cost line, and taking in both of all these three forms the short run supply curve, which is the short run marginal cost curve, which is the SMC. Here you can see it's being is this the bold line here, this is the SMC. So this is the short run supply curve. Okay, so this is how it goes. Now we'll move to the long run supply curve, which is here. So see, again output is being taken on x-axis, price cost is being taken on the y-axis. So the long run supply curve, which is based on the long run marginal cost curve, which is LRMC, this is a long run marginal cost curve, and long run average cost curve is being shown by the bold line. So this is these are the long run supply curves, and earlier it was short run supply curve. This SMC here is being shown to be the short run supply curve, taking into consideration the short run marginal cost curve and the average variable cost, short run average variable cost. Similarly here the long run average cost curve and the long run marginal cost curve has been taken into the consideration, that forms the supply curve in the long run. Further, so how does the following factors affect the supply curve of a firm? What are the factors? First of all, technological progress, how it affects the supply curve. Then imposition of a unit of tax, increase in the price of an input, increase in the number of firms in a market. So we'll first of all we'll take the technological progress. So what happens when there is a technological progress in the economy? Of course, the cost with the technology upgradation, several methods will be introduced that will reduce the cost of production, and that will increase the profit margin of the firm. Once the cost is reduced, that will increase the profit margin, because as the cost of anything is produced and the revenue increases, profit is the difference between revenue and the cost. So when the cost is decreased and the revenue is increased, profit margin will increase. And once the profit margin is increased, supply curve by the firm will be shifted rightwards, because the supply will be increased because as the profit is increasing. Price is taken on y-axis, quantity supplied is taken on x-axis. Here you can see that with the upgradation of technology, as the cost reduces, there is the profit margin increases and supply curve SS shifts to S1 towards right, supplying more of quantity, which has shifted rightward also from Q to Q1. So there is a rightward shift when there is a technological progress. Second is imposition of a unit tax. So what is a unit tax? It is a tax that government imposes on per unit sale of output. For example, suppose that the unit tax imposed by the government is rupees 3. Then if the firm produces 20 units of the good, the total tax the firm must pay to the government will become 20 into 3, which is rupees 60. Now if the unit tax increases, the firm's cost of production will increase. So what happens here? There will be a little reduction in the profit margin because cost has increased as the firm is paying more of tax now. So there will be a backward shift in the supply curve because supply will be reduced because of the reduction in increase in the cost of production. So there will be a leftward shift, and here the supply curve SS shifts backwards, which it shifts to S1 producing lesser quantity, supplying lesser quantity, which is again a backward shift from Q to Q1. So this happens when there is an imposition of a unit tax. Third condition is what happens when an increase in output is increase in the price of an output is there. So price of input also is a part of cost of production. This influence supply because price of inputs are like rent, wages that we pay. Rent is paid for the place we hire or we take on lease. Wages are paid to the labor, interest is paid on capital, and profit are being shared among the entrepreneurs themselves or the dividend holders. So these form the cost of production because these are the factor payments. So what happens? They form the cost of production of commodity. So what happens when the price of any of these input increases? It will increase the cost of production also. And we already know that whenever there is an increase in the cost of production, there will be a decrease in the production of commodity, and in that situation supply curve will shift to the left. So whenever there is an increase in the price of an input, there will be a leftward shift that will shift the SS old supply curve towards the left to S1, affecting the quantity supplied from Q to Q1. So this happens when there is a leftward shift, whenever there is an increase in the price of an input. Now increase in the number of a firm, if there more number of firm enters in the market, there will be more of competition because the number of firm in the industry will increase. Market supply will also increase because there are more suppliers now. There are more number of producers. So there will be more supply definitely. So due to increase in the market supply, the market curve will shift rightwards because there is an increase in the supply, and SS curve will shift to S1, increasing or affecting the quantity supply to a higher level from Q to Q1. Meaning to say that whenever there is an increase in the number of the firms in the market, there will be increase in the supply, shifting the supply curve towards right. Now the next question is, what does the price elasticity of supply means and how we measure it? So elasticity, as we already have studied, that it is the responsiveness towards a change. Here price elasticity of supply is being asked. So definitely price elasticity of supply of a good measures the responsiveness of quantity supplied to change in the price of that good. More specifically, price elasticity of supply, it is being denoted as ES. There is small en, capital S in the subscript. So mathematically it is the percentage change in quantity supplied upon percentage change in price, meaning to say what change will come in the quantity supplied of a good whenever the whenever the price of that good is being changed. So here you can see delta Q upon Q multiplied by 100 upon delta P upon P multiplied by 100, meaning to say this shows the percentage change in quantity supplied. Delta shows the change in the quantity of goods supplied. Delta P shows the change in price. So this is the percentage change in good upon percentage change in price. A little adjustment here, that gives the final formula of delta Q upon Q multiplied by P upon delta P. So this is the final formula or the mathematical representation how we can calculate the price elasticity of supply. As you know, you can join my live classes also, where the PDF notes are being given to for each and every course. You can pursue the entire course there, and all you have to do is that visit this link, which is mivatutorials.com. You can avail the free demo classes. So in this lecture, these were the topic that were to be covered. In the forthcoming lecture, more of the topics will be covered.